What is going on YouTube? Dr. Ratway here. Another video. So I want to start making some changes to my YouTube channel. The biggest thing is that with a few things in the universe is lining up. One, they came out with a PC version of Rise of Kingdoms. Big plus for me not having to use BlueStacks and blah blah blah. It's big benefits to that. Two, you know, I'm do have this whole internal conflict with going into the season of Conquest. Am I ready? Am I not ready? What do I need to do? What commanders to grab? How should my troops be looking? How can I make my overall account better? This, that. Do I have enough resources to do what I'm trying to accomplish? Can I maintain my marches? All of that good stuff, right? And you know, me doing my own research, watching some more videos, talking to some people. I want to share my journey and my experience with the YouTube community. Whoever wants to watch it, Rise of Kingdoms, other people who just want to support me, whatever. Right? I also want to have more structure to my videos. One of the biggest things that I want to start doing now is having timestamps because my videos are very long and sometimes I jump around, and I think it would be very beneficial for the people watching and not have to sit there for 30 minutes per se, just to get, maybe they was looking for one specific element. And I think that that's very reasonable. So I want to put more time into making a quality video that can be dissected better. Also, I want to start putting reference videos in my videos. Reference. So what I mean by that is even for this video that I'm about to talk about right now, right? There was elements of the video that I'm making, and it's like, well, I feel like they need to know this information, even though it doesn't have anything specifically about to be had about the video, but it is relevant background information that would help them understand more about the decisions that I'm making and why I'm doing it and why I'm saying that this is how it should be, or this is what you might want to consider. So I want to make smaller videos that might explain some of the nuanced stuff that'll shorten the time of the video, make it a separate video, and then I could chisel it, say card in the top, or I'm not going to take this stuff, but like here's some extra, background or reference material, right? If you want to put it in scholarly terms. Okay, so with that being said, this is how to build and improve your marches. I'm gonna call it Rise of Kingdoms 201 because I feel like it's an intermediate level thing, to do as a Rise of Kingdom players, and the players that do this successfully, I think, are ultimately going to be the stronger players in the long term on the field, and honestly in Garrison and Canyon and Champs, every game mode that you can play where your troops are being utilized. Right. Okay. Amen. Amen. So I'm gonna start. Well, when I say improve and build upon your marches, right? Build your marches. The march has three elements to it, and a lot of people think your march is just like your commanders. That's the focus point. I think that's a very weird way of thinking about it. The commander is only the leader of that march, but you got the troops, right? You got the commander, and then that commander is equipped with gear that improves upon the effectiveness of that march, right? So that's the three elements, to be clear: the gear, the commander, and the troops. And I believe the first thing that you should focus on is making sure that you have enough troops to adequately, support that march, right? Now, just for the sake of this video, I'm going to operate under certain assumptions, right? So, in my opinion, I'm assuming you have two marches at least going into the season of Conquest. You got two marches that are that you can utilize, that you're already using. I'm assuming that one of them is going to be Alex YSG, right? I don't even want to talk about. That's one of the things I want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about that. Like, you need those two commanders, Alexander the Great Isangye, you need them, period. And then I'm assuming that you're gonna have like Sun Tzu Max, Ethel Max, Joan Max, like pretty much all the epics Max, but maybe not all of them, but the better ones, right? So I'm assuming that you at least have those things at your disposal, right? I'm assuming that at the very least you have two sets of gear, right? I'm assuming you have a baseline of troops to work with to support that march. So now let's get into like the troops specifically. When I mean enough troops to support the march, when you're fighting, you're normally gonna pop one of these where is it at? The expansions, right? You know, the big whales are gonna have more of these 50% expansions to work with. But a medium spender, low spender, or free to play, you're probably gonna have at least a few of these, basic army expansions to work with. So you're gonna pop the expansion. You should always pop an expansion if you're fighting in the open field, in my opinion. So that's at least 250,000 troops that's in that march, and you just don't want to have just that, right? You want to have a little bit more. I'm saying for 250K, you need 300K troops because some of them are when you are going to get severely wounded, and you want to be able to send that march right back out without necessarily having to heal. That's important. So you need to have enough for the march, and then you need to have some for the reserve, right? To refill the ones that get severely wounded. Boom, right? Now, if you want to, pop a 50% expansion, you need at least 300K troops. And then you got to replace some that get severely wounded. I say 350 or better yet 400K troops. That's for one march. So let's say you had one infantry march, one cav march, one infantry march, one cav march, one archer march, right? 50% expansion. You need basically 400K troops just for those marches. We ain't talking about if you want to send marches, to a flag or in a garrison to die. That's a whole complete separate number, and you got to figure out what number of troops are you willing to let die, right? That's your own personal business. But beyond that, this is what you need to field your marches, right? This is how many troops you need to field your marches. That's the first element, because if you don't do that, then your marches aren't going to be as effective because you won't have enough troops to make the march as strong and as impactful as you want it to be. Boom. That's stage one, right? Now, once you get the amount of troops you want, which for infantry I do, right? For infantry I do. I still got to work on the other two units, but whatever. Then you want to start looking at the gear. The gear is very important because I can't even tell you how much the gear matters. You will get stomped if your gear isn't good. And this could be its own video, just talking about the gear. But I'm going to tell you right now, if your gear doesn't at least look like it looks like on this screen right here, if it ain't looking like how I have my gear, special talent, on the epics, maybe a blue, because there's a few blue ones that are actually okay, that are respectable. Some legendary equipment, especially at least one accessory to go with it. Like you're gonna get wrecked. Like it's just as simple. I don't care who you're using. If your gear isn't good, you're getting stomped. I don't care what commander you have, you're getting stomped, right? So I'll make a video talking about the gear and what I think some of the benchmarks are with going into the season of Conquest specifically, and what I would work towards, right? But your gear needs to be in a place where you can compete with other people who are basically going to have all legendary gear. And I get it, you're not going to be able to compete with them, but at least you're not going to get necessarily stomped to the ground. You're just going to get beaten instead of totally destroyed, right? Okay, so now once you have the troops and you have the gear to field the commander, right? Then I think it's time to focus on the commander itself, and it really comes down to your budget, which means how many sculptures can you invest. If it's a wheel commander, how many gems can you spend on the wheel? If it's MGE, can I unlock the commander and get enough sculptures and then use gold heads, right? Okay, so that's the budget part. Then you got role. Most people are going to be open field, right? Most people are going to be open field. So that's why I want to focus the most attention on, because a lot of these other comments that I'm making is relevant most to the open field as well. And then I would like to talk about like foresight or forward thinking. Like there's certain elements that you want in an open field commander. So like you want area of effect damage, you want march speed, you want some type of debuff or buff. Honestly, I like the debuffs better most of the time. Um, you want and then I think some versatility is nice. Like they're good with quite a few pairs of commanders and not necessarily one commander. And see, now I might have to go to my other account. It's in the Season of Conquest, my farm account. It's waiting to be rejoined with my main. So I'm gonna go over here, and then I'll be able to, cause be able to show you more commanders. Okay. So here's some of my recommendations. I'm gonna quickly cover what I think are some okay options to start. So for infantry, I think no matter who you are, right? I think the first thing you should go for, especially if you want infantry, is Guan Yu. Now I know CPO is coming out. Okay, fine. I think he's a great commander, and I could see why you would want him. But I think that with Guan Yu, I think that the damage is very respectable, more than respectable. It's I think it's top tier. The silence is top tier. He's the only person that offers this type of silence to with the AOE. He has the march speed, a little bit of healing. When you leave combat, some attack. I think is great. More damage, right? And then specifically, he can be a budget friendly option because it's you don't need the second skill. So the 155, boom. Leave him there. You know, uh, but then you got to get lucky. Having skill resets definitely helps with that. Boom, Guan Yu. Some people might spin his wheel once and get him to a usable state. You can spin the wheel a couple of times. Wait 8 weeks, spin the wheel. Wait 8 weeks, spin the wheel again. You know, I'm personally going to be doing that because I believe when you're going into the Season of Conquest for the first time, you need to have some sculptures like ready to be used, in my opinion, on the commanders. If you have that luxury, especially as a medium spender, if you're free to play, I already know you probably don't got no damn sculptures. That's just the truth. You probably still working on Alex YSG. Okay, fine. You know, spin the wheel to 10, unlock them. Do what you can, right? Do what you can. And then work on getting Guan Yu, especially if you want an infantry commander. I'm not even gonna make the argument Guan Yu CPO, it don't matter. I think Guan Yu is a fine choice. If you choose to do CPO, because you got Alex CPO is probably fine too. Whatever. The point is that's a great option. Guan Yu CPO, whatever. Okay. I think for um Cavalry, Nevsky, that like I was gonna, Saladin. I was thinking Saladin William would be fine. This Nevsky William, oh my God, Nevsky, I think is a great commander. Just came out, power creeped as hell, strong as hell, crap tons of damage, tanky, great stats, mark. I mean everything. What can this dude not do, right? I think getting a Nevsky is extremely reasonable. Can be a budget friendly option. I think you want to go for the expertise, but I'll say this. If you can get them 5-5-5-1, you have all the stats, right? You have the defense, damage, damage taken, reduced. You got the march speed, the attack, the health. All you're missing is some skill damage and then some bonus, a chance to do bonus skill damage. And obviously you're missing the expertise, which is really good. But I think 5-5-5-1 Nevsky is very respectable as a start for sure. And then pair him whoever the fuck you got. Like if it's mana, fucking I know free to play. Thinking about free to play, like maybe you have Sao Sao. He can be relict. You know, I mean, even if you had to do Babers, I mean, you bring some AOE to it. You want something that, and as long as you got okay gear, I think that's very respectable. I think Nevsky, any Gav commander can kind of work because Nevsky's just so damn good. Even if you had like Mehmed, Mehmed or something like that, I think those are totally reasonable options. If you're looking at a medium sprinter, you had the sculptures. I think getting Nevsky going at 5-5-5-1, fucking and getting William going 5-5-5-1 is super good. Me personally, I have a mana expertise. I can hit him with the what are they called? The relic. Hit mana with the relic. Get Alexander Nevsky 5-5-5-1. Boom, there go my march right there. I can get William later, right? Now I feel like right now the archers are in a tricky spot because if it was me personally, I kind of want to wait to see what archer commanders are going to become available for this next generation of OP commanders that are coming out. Because it's a great chance that I'll be able to pair Esong with somebody insane, right? But if we're looking right now, and that's why I said the game's constantly evolving, right? I'm thinking Ramses is okay. I think the better option is Nebu, but Nebu's MGE, so he might not exactly be accessible to some people. I know you got Legendary Tavern. Who the fuck knows how long that's going to take? You're getting to the season of Conquest. You want to utilize your archers. You can't come out here with Kusunoki no more, Kira no more. That's not going to work. You need to have a legendary commander. If you can weasel your way into getting at least 10 sculptures to unlock Nebu, 5-5-1-1 Nebu, Esong, boom, slap them together. At least you're not using an epic anymore, right? And I think Ramses is still okay. I think he loses some value because his debuff isn't as relevant as it used to be because there's other people that will do a defense reduction that's 30% or more, right? Or more is the important part. So I think he lost some value, but I still think he's a phenomenal commander, and it would definitely be better than using a epic commander. And then you don't have to expertise him necessarily either. I think 5-5-5-1 is a really good spot. Boom. And then maybe you want to work towards the expertise, or you can just keep his ass there. Especially if one of these new archer commanders come out and they're like nuts, right? And you might be able to actually pair Ramses with that commander. Who the fuck knows what's going to be good or not good? So I think those are the kind of the thought process for each troop type. I'm a big advocate of, especially in the beginning of Season of Conquest, I think 3 marches is really reasonable. I think that's the goal that you should go for. 3 marches at the start. Make sure that they're good. You got the gear. You got the troops, right? I think that's a great point because then you can kind of get a little bit of what every troop type has to offer the best, or a very competent version of what each troop type has to offer. Right, and I wouldn't try to push it to make it work, to make certain combos work. I would definitely highly consider dropping epics if it's not like Sun Tzu. You can throw Sun Tzu on maybe you could do it like a Alex Sun Tzu, Guan Sun Tzu, or something like that. But beyond Sun Tzu, I don't think any of the epics can hold up at all. And I think you should be looking to get Sun Tzu out of there as soon as you can, as well. So that's what I would do. For my own personal account, I'm looking at doing a net right out the gates. What I'm initially looking at is the Nevsky Mena. I'm looking at a Guan Alex, and then I'm looking at either a Nebu YSG if I can get that MGE spot, or I might wait and see what the new Archer commanders are, and maybe there's somebody good in the field, new Archer commander that I can pair a YSG there. If not, it's looking like it's going to be Ramses. Plus, I think Ramses just looks cool. I really like this commander, and I like what he has to offer as well. That's what I think is the best options right now for most people, and that's what I would recommend, especially if you're unsure, because you're getting a little bit of each one. If you're free to play, you don't have as many scopes, you're still working on LXYSG, just choose the troop type that you really want to work on. I really think that would be infantry. I think infantry is very good for free to play, because a lot of the commanders for infantry don't have to be expertise. Guan doesn't have to be expertise. Leo doesn't have to be expertise. Zenobia doesn't even matter to you. Harold has to be expertise, but he works very well with Alex, right? I would expertise Pakal because he's mainly for rally, and CPO doesn't necessarily have to be expertise, but I would expertise him once he comes out. Like, he's nuts if you do expertise him, I feel like. So that's how you build the marches. Now I want to talk about a little bit about the improvement part. So this is when I feel like once you're at this point, you got your 3 marches, you kind of got an idea what you want to do with your account. Do you build another, if you're going more focused on infantry, you want to do cabs are working really good right now. Do the archers appease you? That's just when you decide. My philosophy is that I don't think you should really do more than 3 marches of any one troop type. So I think if you did, let's say you're infantry focused account, I think 3 infantry, 1 archer, 1 cavalry is very good, and I think a better option necessarily going, like, let's say 4 or 5 infantry marches, is because there's going to be infantry, cavalry, and archer commanders that are just a tier above some other commanders, right? And if you have at least 1 cav march, 1 archer march, right, you can choose and cherry pick the best march, really top tier march in those other troop types, and then you could have your infantry focused commanders, because issue is, as more commanders become available, yeah, for sure, you could definitely field some great marches. But with the power creep, the new commanders that are coming out, are going to typically be better than the old commanders, right? So it keeps your account more relevant and more versatile. And I think that versatility is really what you're looking for most people, especially as a free-to-play up to a medium spender. Whales, they have every commander that they really want for the most part. Definitely more flexibility than everyone else has. So I think that for people medium spender and below, which is probably 99% of the people who play this game, keeping that versatility, no more than 3 of marches of 1 troop type, and then 1 of the other ones, I think is very good. Right. I don't want to get into the commanders and all of that right now, but that's the thought process. I really hope that this video helped you think more about, the other factors that are just more than just a commander to the march. You got making sure you got enough troops, making sure your gear is good. And I'll make some videos to reinforce some of the concepts that I wasn't able to add in this video. You're a wonderful person. You're going to become a great rock player. See you in the next video.